see. You're the executive director for the America First Legal, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And America First Legal is a member of Project 2025, which is dedicated to creating the playbook for the next conservative administration and what it calls the Project Pillars, correct?
We are proud contributors to Project 2025.
Okay. And are you familiar with Project 2025's mandate for leadership?
In fact, I am.
Okay. And in fact, you wrote some of the sections of this mandate related to the DOJ, correct?
Sure did.
And the mandate outlines policy priorities for the next conservative president. Is that correct?
It does.
You've done a great job. I just want to let you know. All right, so let's walk through some of the provisions of the mandate. It calls for eliminating the Department of Education, eliminating the Department of Commerce, deploying the military for the use of domestic law enforcement against protesters under the Insurrection Act of 1807. It also has the repealing of Schedule F status for thousands of federal employees to allow a president to replace career civil servants with unqualified partisan loyalists. That's probably my favorite of it. It also prohibits the FBI from combating the spread of misinformation and disinformation, like Russia and China, who are actively trying to interfere with American elections. I don't know why or how anybody can support Project 2025. And I know that there was allegedly a joke about dictators and whether or not that's funny, but in the United States of America, dictatorships are never funny, and Project 2025 is giving the playbook for authoritarianism as well as the next dictator to come in.
Directly from Wikipedia, the Free Encyclopedia Project 2025. This is a plan to reshape the U.S. federal government to support the agenda of Republican Party President Project 2025, also known as the Presidential Transition Project, is a collection of policy proposals to thoroughly reshape the U.S. federal government in the event of a Republican victory in the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Established in 2022, the project aims to recruit tens of thousands of conservatives to the District of Columbia to replace existing federal civil servants, whom Republicans characterize as part of the deep state, and to further the objectives of the next Republican president. It adopts a maximalist interpretation of the unitary executive theory, which asserts that the president has absolute power over the executive branch upon inauguration. Project 2025 envisions widespread changes across the entire government, particularly with regard to economic and social policy and the role of the federal government and its agencies. The plan proposes slashing funding for the Department of Justice, DOJ, dismantling the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, sharply reducing environmental and climate change regulations to favor of fossil fuel production, eliminating the Department of Commerce, and ending the independence of various federal agencies such as the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, and the Federal Trade Commission, FTC. The blueprint seeks to institute tax cuts, though its writers disagree on the wisdom of protectionism. Project 2025 recommends abolishing the Department of Education, whose programs would be either transferred to other government agencies or terminated. Scientific research would only receive federal funding if it suits conservative principles. The project urges the government to explicitly reject abortion as health care and to restrict access to contraception. The Heritage Foundation, an American conservative think tank that leads the development of Project 2025, asserted in April 2024 that the radical left hates families and wants to eliminate the family and replace it with the state while driving the country to emulate totalitarian nations such as North Korea. The project seeks to infuse the government with elements of Christian faith, stating in its mandate that freedom is defined by God, not man. Project 2025 proposes criminalizing pornography, removing protections against discrimination based on sexual or gender identity, and terminating diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) programs, as well as affirmative action. The project advises the future president to immediately deploy the military for domestic law enforcement and to direct the DOJ to pursue Trump's adversaries by invoking the Insurrection Act of 1807. It recommends the arrest, detention, and deportation of undocumented immigrants across the country. It promotes capital punishment and the speedy finality of such sentences. Project Director Paul Down, a former Trump administration official, explained that Project 2025 is systematically preparing to march into office and bring a new army, aligned, trained, and essentially weaponized conservatives ready to do battle against the deep state. Dawn admitted that it was counterintuitive to recruit so many people to join the government in order to shrink it, but pointed out the need for a future president to regain control of the federal government. Although the project cannot promote a specific presidential candidate, many contributors have close ties to Donald Trump and his presidential campaign. The Heritage Foundation has developed Project 2025 in collaboration with over 100 partners, including Turning Point USA, led by its executive director Charlie Kirk. The Conservative Partnership Institute, including former Trump Chief of Staff Mark Meadows as senior partner. The Center for Renewing America, led by former Trump Office of Management and Budget Director Russell Vought, and America First Legal, led by former Trump Senior Advisor Stephen Miller. The project is detailed in Mandate for Leadership, the Conservative Promise, a version of which Heritage has written as transition plans for each prospective Republican president since 1981. Critics of Project 2025 have described it as an authoritarian Christian nationalist movement and a path for the United States to become an autocracy. Several experts in law have indicated that it would undermine the rule of law and the separation of powers. Some conservatives and Republicans also criticize the plan, for example, in the context of centralizing power, climate change, and foreign trade. Before we wrap up, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Project 2025 and its potential impacts on women, minorities, and other marginalized groups? Do you have concerns or support the initiative? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video informative, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Your engagement helps us reach more people and create more content like this. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on important political developments and how they affect our communities. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Yeah. The people, they won't leave. What is threatening about divesting and want a piece? The problem isn't the protests, it's what they're protesting. It goes against what our country is funding. Block the barricade until Palestine is free. Block the barricade until Palestine is free. When I was 7, I learned a lesson from Cuban Eazy-E. What was it again? Oh yeah, fuck the police. Actors and badges protecting property in a system that was designed by white supremacy. But the people are in the streets. You could pay off Meta, you can't pay off me. Politicians who serve by any means, APAC, Kofi, and all the companies. You see, we sell fear around the land of the free, but this generation here is about to cut the strings. You could ban TikTok, take us out the algorithm, but it's too late. We've seen the truth, we bear witness. Seen the rubble, the buildings, the mothers and the children, and all the men that you murdered, and then we see how you spin it. Who gets the right to defend and who gets the right of resistance? It's always been about dollars and the color of your pigment. But white supremacy is finally on glass, screaming free Palestine to their home at last. We see the lies and claiming it's anti-Semitic to the anti-Zionists. I seen Jewish brothers and sisters out there and riding in solidarity and screaming free Palestine, with them organizing and learning and finally cutting ties with the state that's gotta rely on apartheid system to uphold an occupying violent history. Been repeating for the last 75. The Nakba never ended, the colonizer lied. If students' intents posted on the lawn, occupying the quad is really against the law, and a reason to call in the police and their squad. Where does genocide land in your definition, huh? Destroying every college in Gaza and every mosque, pushing everyone into Rafah and dropping bombs. The blood is on your hands, Biden, we can see it all. And fuck no, I'm not voting for you in the fall. Undecided, you can't twist the truth, the people out here united. Never be defeated when freedom's on the horizon. Yet the music industry's quiet, complicit in their platform of silence. What happened to the artist? What you gotta say? If I was on a label, you could drop me today. I'll be fine with it cause the heart fed my page. I want a ceasefire, fuck a response from Drake. What you willing to risk? What you willing to give? What if you were in Gaza? What if those were your kids? If the West was pretending that you didn't exist, you want the world to stand up and the students finally did. Let's get it.